What's going on, fellow A-Plusers? It is I, your host as always, Adam Perez, back once again with a brand new video for you guys, as it's been quite some time since we had the opportunity to talk some Star Wars: The High Republic. You guys know I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I personally love to read Star Wars novels, as you can see from my collection that's been building over there. All those are certainly Star Wars novels, the top being the most recent stuff, all in chronological order, if you will, with the new canon that we certainly have. A lot of missing pieces to my library and collection, but give it time. Give it time. Some of those are definitely, the top stuff is definitely new canon. I definitely even have some legend stuff in paperbacks down below as well. So I might actually need to get more bookshelves for my Star Wars collection as it continues to grow. But if you've been following us for a while, guys, you guys know that we've been really high on Star Wars: The High Republic. No pun intended there. Over the past couple of months, or over the past year since this High Republic wind up being revealed to us, we have been doing some novel reviews from time to time. I believe we wind up doing one for, I believe it was Light of the Jedi, the very first novel. Into the Dark by one of my favorite authors, and Claudia Gray. I believe there's also another one, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, that we wind up doing. But I wanted to do these book reviews for a while now, just because I feel like more Star Wars fans should probably dive deep into some of these novels. I think it's a great opportunity, especially when it comes to the new High Republic here, just to explore a brand new era of Star Wars with brand new characters, brand new worlds, brand new storylines, and things like that. Just a really fresh and unique take on the Star Wars universe. This particular time period taking place about 200 years prior to the Phantom Menace. I think maybe around 230 years or so. And then we've got phase one that has officially wrapped, if I'm not mistaken. I think there might be one more book that's coming out, but the second phase apparently plans on jumping even further into the past, another 150 years or so, if you will. So we definitely want to go ahead and bring you guys our thoughts in regards to some of these novels, our reviews for some of these books. So if you've ever thought about the idea of jumping into Star Wars canon, I think the High Republic is a great and fresh place to certainly start. You don't really have to worry about too much history and lore along the way. So definitely would recommend you guys certainly picking it up. Right now, what I'm currently reading is Race to Crash Point Tower. It is sort of like a small little young adult book here, if you will, that kind of takes place of an adventure that's taking place concurrently with the book that we're about to review today, The Rising Storm. That's right, High Republic Rising Storm by Cavan Scott. Great work. I really love just what they're creating so far. Some really great authors, honestly. Some I'm familiar with, some I'm certainly not. But they definitely have really established a fantastic era of Star Wars. So today, guys, The Rising Storm is in fact going to be the book that we focus on. Just based off of some of the stuff that I've seen from the High Republic, it feels very much like Phase 1 has 3 main books. But trust me when I say there definitely are other books that happen during this particular time period that will focus on other Jedi, other storylines and things like that, but it feels as though the main story arc is taking place in 3 main books. So we've got The Light of the Jedi, which kicks it off, and then The Rising Storm is going to be sort of like the second book, if you will, in all of that. In between, you could definitely check out Into the Dark, because it does introduce, again, new Jedi, brand new villains too. So you probably actually want to check out Into the Dark as well. But for me, Rising Storm feels very much like the middle part of 3-piece act, because the third piece, I believe, is the Fallen Star that just recently got released this particular month, earlier this month also. So today's book that we're going to be checking out, The Rising Storm, one that I certainly recommend. We've got a couple of Jedi on here. You've got Bel Zadafar. You've got Stellan Gios with that sweet-ass cross-guard lightsaber. And then Ty York, who used to be a part of the Jedi, and at some particular point in time sort of went on her own way, if you will, kind of left the order, trying to find herself, maybe her own personal relationship with the Force, and she's managed to find herself turning into a little bit of a monster hunter, which I think is a really cool career path and a career choice for a former Jedi. I am really intrigued to kind of learn a little bit more about her past. She's probably become one of my favorite and intriguing characters so far when it comes to the High Republic. Just really enjoy her personality. The idea of her being a monster hunter is rather intriguing to me also. Seeing her relationships with the other Jedi that she winds up bumping into in this novel. Pretty interesting interactions for sure, pretty intense. Get to see some of her feelings in regards to the Jedi Order in general, and the idea of having to see the other Jedi sort of react to her, right? I'm not familiar with who she is because she's not a part of the council anymore, and it definitely just makes it more intriguing as to what her past is truly like. So I'm hoping that that's something that they definitely go down. But I really enjoyed this particular book. I truly did. You know, they do a really great job of just bringing the intensity, understanding how high the stakes are, getting an opportunity to not only see the political side of things, but also points of views from the villains in regards to the Nihil. Their leader, and Marchion Ro, continues to truly impress me. The way that they sort of unfold, you know, not only his mystery as to his own particular past, but the chess pieces that he's kind of moving into place to perform his overall plan. I really enjoyed seeing that journey in this episode, or this novel, I will say. You know, the idea of him going to this secret planet to try and discover or find sort of this weapon that'll definitely help him out against the Jedi, using one of his own Force-sensitive Nihil to kind of use as a guinea pig, if you will, to kind of find his way. I thought was pretty incredible. Even get an opportunity at the end of this to see the Leveler and really at least one part of Marchion's Ro's plan coming into existence, and just the damage that the Leveler can certainly do to the Jedi and those that are certainly Force sensitive. You know, what he ends up doing with both Loden and Bell. Terrifying stuff, and it has me kind of curious as to what Bell Zadafar's journey is going to be like after this, considering sort of the PTSD and sort of like emotional drama that he's had to go through in regards to losing his master and then potentially finding him again, only to have to deal with the really terrible ramifications of what happens at the end of this particular novel when it comes to Bell. So I am intrigued to kind of see where his mindset is at. And I love the fact that when it comes to Cavan Scott, you know, he doesn't mind tapping into sort of the side of the Jedi, well, I should say like the darker side a little bit, right? There are some characters in here that I kind of question. Are they going to fall to the dark side? Are they going to give into some of the temptation and stuff that's out there? So when we get the focus on somebody like, say, an Elzar Mann, who really falls sort of into that dark force ability with all the stuff that he's kind of juggling, right? There's clearly a lot more that Elzar Mann certainly has to learn, but you can see all the attachment that this guy has, how much into his emotions and feelings and attachments that he has around him in his life. And then when you have all the stressors of that, along with some of the Force visions that he's seen, a lot of uncertainty that he has, fear for losing the people that he loves, sort of thing, it doesn't surprise me that we see this movement from Elzar Mann. But is it bad of me to say I kind of want to see him falter? And the only reason why I say that is not to say that every Jedi in here is perfect. I do love the fact that they don't have a problem in showcasing the fallibility, if that's even the word, if you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like the faults that some of these Jedi have, and the struggles that they're certainly going to, because I feel like, I don't want to say they wear a lot of their heart on their sleeve, but just based off of the books that I've read so far, it is interesting to kind of see how some of these Jedi handle loss or handle confusion and handle fear. Some of them handling it better than others, some questioning their positions, right? Really testing or flirting with the concept of maybe going down a dark path, if you will. So I really enjoyed what we've gotten so far from characters like Elzar. hoping that somebody like, for me, that like a Ty York is able to kind of help bring that balance, right? There is a level of Ty that, because of the fact that she's no longer part of the Jedi, she's kind of doing things on her own. Is this combination of Ty and Elzar going to, turn into a really destructive path for maybe the both of them as characters, whether it be influencing you, maybe not necessarily bringing you to the light, but pushing you more to the dark? I really want to see if they focus on just what that partnership or relationship in the future certainly might be like between the two of them, because it definitely seems as though Elzar certainly has a lot on his plate. And I really enjoy his other friend in here, and Stellan Jost. Getting the opportunity to kind of see what Stellan certainly brings. This is the first novel where he really gets the opportunity to shine. We've heard of him in passing in the other novels, but he really takes front and center in here in protecting the Chancellor, and also a really massive position when it comes to fortifying Valo and the attack that we wind up getting from the Nihil in here. And so for me, I really enjoyed seeing Stellan, seeing just the weight that he holds, the responsibility that's sort of now on his shoulders. It seems as though he's definitely one of those Jedi that are out there that are very much revered, that people certainly look up to. And with the Chancellor putting a lot of responsibility on his shoulders to bring the Nihil to justice, I am curious, because it doesn't feel like Stellan wants to necessarily get thrusted into this particular role of leadership, even though he is a council member, if I'm not mistaken. It seems as though Chancellor is really putting him kind of in charge of this assault and attack in order to bring the Nihil to justice. So I kind of want to see how he winds up handling that. He already has sort of conflicting thoughts in regards to it, because he agrees that Jedi are not certainly warriors, right? They're not certainly an army. So the idea to ask them to fight for you or to, lead this charge, he probably feels it's maybe not necessarily what they're meant to certainly do, right? So I do wonder if he's going to struggle with that decision that Chancellor So has definitely put on him. I think Cavan Scott in here does a great job, not only with just a lot of the characters, but just bringing the intensity when it comes to what's at stake when the Nihil certainly go ahead and attack Valo. Getting to kind of see the carnage and destruction. As a reader, you can really feel it. One of the tricks that I usually do, guys, it might take me a little bit slower to get through some of these books, but I really appreciate it because it just adds a different layer of entertainment for me. But not only do I read the book, but I also download the audio book. So as I'm listening to it, I'm reading along also. So you get cool effects. Sometimes the voice actors pretty hit or miss when it comes to just their take on what the character will sound like. Sometimes it is a little bit of a disconnect, because I'm like, I don't see Bell Zettifar sounding like that, or Stellan Gios or Elzar Mann maybe just don't necessarily sound the way that I was hoping or envisioning in my mind, sort of thing. But if you can get over some of the odd choices in regards to accents or how they represent a character, for me, it's really fun. I mean, you got Star Wars music and soundtrack that go along with it, really adding to sort of the moment of these particular scenes. So the gigantic Valo attack that we had in this book was rather riveting from start to finish, and I definitely found myself breezing through it, to certainly say the least. But yeah, I was really impressed with what we wind up getting in here. Even the Chancellor So stuff I thought was pretty incredible. Getting the opportunity to truly see who the leader of the Republic is about. Getting the opportunity to kind of see the faults that they make, right? I mean, she talks a little bit about her hubris, her arrogance, and thinking that that they were certainly safe, only for the Nihil to certainly attack and just cause devastation. This is the second attack from the Nihil that has really put the Republic sort of on their heels, and now certainly need to kind of answer back. So definitely love the intensity. Definitely love seeing the fallibility of a lot of these characters, the mistakes that they make, and hopefully the lessons that they certainly learn. Because it seems like it's going to be, I don't want to say all-out war as of right now, but it seems very much like you've got the Jedi who are finally starting to learn a little bit more about the Nihil after this attack, as they came into contact with a data pad that has a bunch of information in regards to them. So we're definitely going to see the Jedi trying to learn as much about the Nihil as possible. And yet on the other side of things, when it comes to the Nihil, you got Marchion Ro that now has the ability of the Leveler that can nullify Force users. They were also teased in here that there's a prototype of a potential weapon that can disrupt energy fields of any sort, which includes lightsabers. Which would also make the Jedi very much weaponless and vulnerable. The prototype was certainly teased to the Nihil, even though I don't believe that they ever managed to get their hands on it. But who's to say they don't take maybe those plans or that concept and of the prototype and maybe try and build something for themselves, right? So the Nihil have immediately become formidable, like they certainly were prior to it also, with their access to the paths and being able to use the hyperforce paths, hyperspace paths, wherever they certainly want to go, undetectable sort of thing. So it definitely puts fear and has people looking over their shoulders that the Nihil could truly attack at any particular point in time. But so for me, the Rising Storm did a ton of great things, introducing us to great brand new characters that I'm truly a big fan of. I really enjoyed the Bell Zettifar story. I mean, Homeboy's been through a ton of stuff. He's probably like my second favorite so far, and then either Stellan or Elzar will probably be up there as my third as of right now. But I really enjoyed seeing Bell's journey in here, the struggles that he has in regards to missing his master in Loden, the lengths that he's certainly willing to go to try and save his master, and really just that resolve that I feel like he has, that everything's going to be okay now. And then now to kind of have this happen to Bell also, I don't necessarily know, just off of the books that I've read so far, if any other Jedi has gone through as much sort of pain and sorrow as Bell certainly has. And for me, it'll be interesting to kind of see what sort of path that puts Bell on in regards to what type of Jedi he's certainly going to choose to become. You know what I mean? Because he definitely stands out in regards to the one that's really has to deal with a lot of loss and a lot of pain as of recently, with just within the 2, 3, sort of 4 books that I've wind up reading so far. This particular book does take place, I think, just under a year after the events of the Light of the Jedi. I would assume anywhere between maybe like 9 to 10 months is kind of under the impression that I am. So not quite a year, but definitely some time has definitely passed between the two. If I am wrong, definitely feel free to let me know in the comment section box below, guys. But overall, great stuff. I really appreciate the building up of a brand new villain in here, Marchion Ro. He's got such a mysterious history that I believe is going to be explored a little bit more in the comic books, titled The Eye of the Storm. I don't know if that's a one-shot or like a little bit of a mini-series that's going to be dropping, but I would certainly recommend it. And even his other Storm members in Pan, along with Lorna D, really like both of those characters. Love the pushback, the idea that the Nihil aren't all necessarily on the same page. You got some people like Lorna D that's quite traitorous and working behind other people's backs, if you will, having their own agenda, trying to put themselves in better power positions also. And Lorna D is actually quite formidable. Getting to kind of see her in action. Again, the stuff on Valo and the massive attack really pushing the Jedi to their limits. Seeing Lorna have to take on some Jedi was pretty impressive. Even the other Jedi, the archivist, Orbalin, I believe that was his name. Pretty impressive too. A big blob like inside of a containment suit as a Jedi. Pretty interesting stuff, to certainly say the least. But he definitely felt quite formidable, more formidable than I certainly expected also. So I'm really loving the villain stuff in here. The Lorna D, Pan, who clearly has other intentions. When he pops back up, I'm not quite sure. I would assume, if anything, maybe in the Fallen Star series itself or book itself. So I am looking forward to eventually getting to that particular book also. But overall, guys, stellar book, man. I absolutely love this. When it comes to especially the main stories and the main novels, again, Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule, incredible way to go ahead and kick things off. If Rise of the Storm is like the second book, or 2B, if you will, in regards to this first wave, great intermission, if you will, to kind of show the highs and the lows from both sides, you know, whether you're the Republic or the Nihil, and just really get an opportunity to see Marchion Ro putting things into place to become quite the formidable villain for the Jedi, definitely going forward. So how will the Jedi recover? We'll definitely have to see, and I'm kind of curious to see what changes will definitely happen in the galaxy, certainly going forward, and especially how the Jedi will definitely prep themselves. But overall, guys, excellent book. I definitely would highly recommend it. If you have had the opportunity to check out The Rising Storm, what did you guys think of it? How would you like it in regards to all of the Star Wars books that you've read so far? Definitely go ahead and let your thoughts be known in the live chat or the comment section box below. And after all the Star Wars books that I wind up reading, I'll probably just go ahead and continue to do these small little mini reviews, because I definitely would recommend you guys jump on board with me sometime. But also, guys, real quick, if you have not joined us over on our Discord forum community, please go ahead and do so. I will go ahead and put a link in the description box below. Our Discord was available originally for our Patreons of the $1 tier, but since we took off the Patreon, we have in fact decided to make the Discord available to the public. So if you enjoy forum communities, if you love having topics, a plethora of topics to definitely talk about and continue to communicate and connect with us outside of our YouTube channel, the Discord is certainly the best place to go ahead and do so. So feel free to join. I'll put a link in the description box below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet and you like our content, hit that subscribe button along with that big thumbs up. The like button definitely does help, and feel free to leave some comments if you want after this particular video airs, and we'll certainly continue our discussion of Star Wars The High Republic. But until then, as always, guys, do me a big favor. We'll certainly talk to you later, but until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep it A+. May the Force be with you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.